Hi friend, welcome back to Breathe with Brie. I'm Brie, and today I have prepared for you a really simple stretching routine that actually I use all the time. It targets kind of every area of the body, and it's really perfect for in the morning or in the evening, or just when you are so busy you don't have time for anything except for a little bit of a stretch. This is what I do when I'm busy. And so we're going to get started. It might be handy to have a couple of blocks nearby if you have blocks. You can also use a strap if you'd like, or I just have a tea towel, which is also just as easy. So I'll show you how we're going to use that in a little bit. But strap or tea towel, maybe some blocks, and that's all we need. So let's get started. So we're just going to come together in a child's pose. So bring the knees out wide and just crawl the fingertips forward, bringing the forehead down to the mat, or perhaps a block or the tea towel even, or really anything underneath your forehead. And let's just start to arrive into our little mini practice here. And at any time, feel free to pause this video, linger in any of these shapes or moments for as long as you need. This doesn't have to be a quick practice for you if you don't need it to be. We'll just take 2 big deep breaths. So exhale all the air out. And then a full inhale. And release. And on your next inhale, try to fill up into the belly and the chest. Inhale into the belly and the chest. Exhale. And maybe just start to reach forward a little bit, stretching the back, press the hips back onto the heels. And then we'll just come up onto hands and knees. So we're just going to bring the shoulders over top of the wrists, hips, or over top of the knees. And crawl the hands forward. So again, it might be nice to have a block or a blanket or something just to bring the mat or floor closer to you. Reach forward and start to make your way down with your head towards the mat. So making sure that you're keeping your hips high over top of your knees. Okay, maybe you're here, puppy pose or melting heart. You're going to want to bring the heart, the armpits down towards the mat. Wherever you are, just opening through back, the shoulders, maybe a slight tuck of the tailbone, just so that you're not dumping into that lower back. And if this shape is really challenging, if it's painful, come out. If it's just uncomfortable or challenging, see if you can hold for a couple of breaths, just opening through the shoulders, super tight area of the body. Inhale back up through center, coming back into that tabletop. And from here, we'll cycle through some cat-cows. Inhale to drop your belly, lift the gaze. And exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin, press the mat away. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine. So those are 2 options. I always like to bring a little bit of extra movement in. So maybe try shifting your ribs and your hips the opposite way, almost like you're wagging a tail. Maybe you flip the fingertips so that they're facing your knees, just getting a little bit into the forearms. You can continue with your cat-cows in that shape as well. Option 2, also bring the hands forward again, and then maybe come forward into this sort of like lazy up dog, still with tension. And then exhale, press back, child's pose. So any of these shapes, and again, if you'd like to pause the video, linger or move for longer than this, feel free. Hip circles, just really moving everything in the body. So really getting all those creaks and wiggles out. And then we'll come back to stillness. Again, whenever you're ready, hands and knees. And then bring the right foot back and plant the right toes behind you. Press into the heel. So we're just getting a little bit into that calf. You could rock forward and back. That's going to mobilize a little bit more through the wrists and the ankles, a little bit of joint action there too. I know that my ankles are cracking all the time when I do this, and maybe yours are too. Stillness, also a great option. You can just push and hold. Really delicious stretch into the back of the leg. Inhale, come back through center, bending through the knee, keeping it hovering though. And then we're going to lift the right leg out to the right. And then we're going to start big hip circles. So go slower than you want. Just starting to lubricate through that hip joint. Do a few in one direction and then in the other direction. Big, slow hip circles. And then once you're done, option 2, plant the knee down and then step forward, or you can keep the right knee hovering, round through the spine, see if you can step forward without touching the mat on the way. Either way, landing in a low lunge, right foot forward, left knee is down. And again, you can have the blocks here nearby if you'd like, or really anything. You can even use like big soup cans or water bottles, perhaps if they're not too tall, just anything to bring the height up a little bit higher. And then sink low into the hips. You can also bring your right hand up to your right knee. Breathe. And then bring the hands back down if you lifted them. And then we're just going to step back into that tabletop. And shifting the blocks out of the way just for now. And then we're going to move over to the other side. Left leg lifts. Plant the toes down. Press into the heel. Choose stillness or find that movement. Mobilizing through the joints. Especially if you're doing this in the morning. This is going to feel really nice. They say motion is lotion. So really anytime you are moving the joints, moving your body, helps to lubricate everything. Keeps things moving nice and smoothly. Okay, coming to stillness, left leg lifts, bend the knee, and then left knee out to the left. This is called fire hydrant. And then begin your hip circles. Big, slow movements. Slower than you want. Okay, 3 in one direction and 3 in the other direction. And then option to drop that left knee down or keep it hovering. Round through the spine. Give it a shot. Step forward without dragging that foot on the mat. Either way, we're landing in this low lunge. All the same options apply. You can keep your hands on the mat or whatever prop you'd like to place beneath your hands. Maybe you're crawling those hands up onto the left knee. Every exhale helps you find a little bit of length, a little bit of release into the shape. And then nice and slow, bring the hands back down. Step back. Maybe cycle through a couple of cat-cows. Maybe those barrel rolls again. And then we're going to bring the hands a little bit forward, tuck the toes and send the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Maybe pedal through the legs, one heel at a time. So getting a little bit more into that hamstring. And a nice deep bend is always good for the first down dog, really focusing more on pressing into the hands, nice long spine. Spread the fingertips really nice and wide. And then we'll just tiptoe up to the top of the mat, forward fold. And then roll up one vertebrae at a time, shoulders up and down and back. Okay, we're going to interlace the fingers, press the hands down, and then inhale the arms up. Really reach. Maybe the gaze follows. Okay, release, hands down, forward fold. Okay, we're going to do that a couple more times. Inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time, shoulders down and back. Interlace the fingers, press down, inhale up, and get tall. And then swan dive down, forward fold. You may want to separate your feet hip width distance as well. I forgot to mention that before. Okay, one more time. Inhale up. Shoulders down and back. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, reach up. And then we'll just bring the hands back down. And we're going to do a couple of standing twists. Okay, so we're going to bring the hands out, palms down. And then we're just going to wrap the arms around the body. Inhale out and exhale, twist. Let's do that one more time on each side. And then we'll bring the hands through heart center and we're going to come into another forward fold. Forward fold. Inhale for a little halfway lift, palms to shins. Weight is in the heels. And then we're just going to bend the knees, come all the way down to a seat. I'm going to get a little bit into the hamstring. So right leg forward, left foot is bent, left foot is somewhere on the inside of the right leg. This is where your strap or tea towel might be handy. Okay, so we're going to inhale, arms extend high, and then exhale to forward fold. And again, it really doesn't matter where your hands land. They can come even to the side of your leg. So you may be feeling this a little bit into the lower back. Sometimes a lower back stretch, that's where I feel it. My lower back is pretty tight. If you'd like to get a little bit more into the hamstring, just wrapping your prop, your strap, towel, whatever it is, around the ball of the foot, not the arch, just underneath the toes. Okay, and then inhale to extend, exhale to fold. So the exhale brings you further into the shape. Nice opening in the back of that hamstring. Okay, again, if you want to linger here, if you have some time, you can just stay. Every exhale bringing you a little bit further into the shape. And if you're coming along with me, we'll just take one more big breath here. All right, let's release that nice and slowly come up, and then we'll just switch over to the other side. Okay, making sure your sit bones are nice and firmly planted. So if you have to remove a little bit of flesh to make that happen, feeling really solid on your mat. Torso's facing towards the foot. Inhale, arms extend high, and exhale to come forward. Okay, so yogi's choice. You decide what feels good for you, where your hands are going to be. If you want to feel that a little bit more into the lower back, perhaps, or if you want a little bit more sensation in that hamstring, just using whatever props you have to make that happen for you. Again, permission to linger. Otherwise, one more big breath. Find softness in that breath. And then inhale brings you back up. And we're just going to come to a comfortable seat. Little bit of breath work. Maybe you want to sit up onto a block or a pillow, blanket. Hands can be down on your thighs, can be one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Maybe close down the eyes. We'll just take 2 big breaths together before you move on with your day. So start by exhaling fully. And then inhale to fill the belly and then the chest. Release. One more. And that's it. Just the most simple little stretching routine that I always feel, I always find makes me feel really amazing after. So I hope it did for you too. If there's anything else you'd like to see, make sure you leave a comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching.